Hello and welcome to a quick tutorial on how to remove the winglets from the PMDG 737. Before I begin on the tutorial, there are a few things you need to know before you start. You need to own both the PMDG 737-600 as well as the 737 you want to remove the winglets on. I'd also recommend you have the latest version of the PMDG 737 installed, as well as you create a backup of the aircraft you're removing the winglets on before you begin. Lastly, this tutorial is only for FS2024. I'm sure there's a way to remove the winglets in FS2020, I just haven't looked into it and haven't found a way yet. If enough people are interested, I could look into doing it and create another tutorial, but for now this is FS2024 only. With all of that out of the way, let's now begin the tutorial. On the left side of my screen I have a PMDG 737-600. On the right side I have a PMDG 737-800, which I'll be removing the winglets on. To begin, we need to copy the wingtip folders from the 737-600 over to the 737-800. To do that, go into your sim objects folder, airplanes folder, PMDG 737-600 folder, attachments folder, PMDG folder. Here you'll find the two folders you need to copy. They end with WT_L and WT_R. Simply highlight them both, right click, and copy them. The location you're going to paste these two folders in is the same location as in the 737-600, but in the 737-800 folder. So go sim objects, airplanes, PMDG 737-800, attachments, PMDG, and paste the wingtips in here. After you've pasted the wingtip folders, you no longer need the 737-600 folder, so you can close it. The next step is to copy one of the PMDG 737 exterior folders and rename it for our new no winglet 737. I'm going to copy this folder here for the 737-800 with blended wingtips. If you wanted to remove the winglets on the PMDG 737 BCF for example, you'd copy this folder, but I'm doing it for the passenger version, so I'm going to copy this folder here. You could also copy the SW folder for the split scimitars. It doesn't really matter, as long as you copy a folder that correlates to the aircraft variant you want to remove the winglets on. After you've copied the folder, simply paste it back in and rename it. I renamed my folder with NW at the end for no winglets. After pasting and renaming the folder, you want to go inside of it and then into the config folder. Inside you'll find the aircraft.cfg. Inside you'll find the ICAO model for the aircraft. You want to rename it the same way you renamed the exterior folder. I will be adding an NW so mine matches. Once you've renamed the ICAO model into the aircraft.cfg, save it and you can exit. We now need to create a new preset folder for our 737 without winglets. To do that, go back to this folder here and you'll find the presets folder. Go inside, then go to the PMDG folder, and you'll see these folders here. Now like we did in the attachments folder, we need to copy one of these folders, paste it back in, and then rename it. Depending on the folder we copy, it will change how the cabin is displayed inside the aircraft. HD stands for high density, SC stands for single cabin, and TC stands for two cabins. So if you want a specific cabin in your no winglet 737, make sure you copy the correct folder for what you're going to. And like before, it doesn't matter if you're copying a BW or SSW variant. These just control the winglets, which we'll be removing anyway. I'm going to copy the BW single cabin preset. And once I've done that, I'll paste it back in and rename it NW. Once you've pasted and renamed the folder, go inside of it and into the config folder. Inside this folder, go into your aircraft.cfg, and here you'll need to make a few changes. First, change your title in the same way you renamed the folder. So for me, I just changed it from BW to NW, so I'll be doing that here as well. You also want to change the UI type, so I'm going to be changing mine from BW to NW. Once I've made those adjustments, I can save the folder and exit out of it. The next folder we need to change is the attached objects.cfg folder. Inside here we need to make a few more changes. Firstly, under sim attachment.0, you need to change the function exterior to whatever you named it in the attachments folder. I renamed mine function_exterior_738_NW, so I will make that change here. Next, under simattachment.2 and simattachment.3, you need to change the BW at the end here to say WT, and this is for both simattachment.2 and 3. You also need to change the attachment file here, so it's lwt.xml and rwt.xml. Once those 3 changes have been made, you can save the folder and exit out of it. Once all of those changes have been made, you've now configured a variant of your 737 to work without winglets. The last step is to refresh your layout.json. To do this, you want to navigate to your PMDG-aircraft-738 folder, and you want to locate the layout.json. To refresh the layout.json, we will be using a tool called MSFS Layout Generator. You can download this tool from GitHub for free, and I will leave a link to it in the description. To refresh the layout.json, simply drag and drop it onto the MSFS Layout Generator. After all of these steps have been completed, you should now have a working 737 without winglets. Lastly, before I load into the simulator and show the 737 without winglets, I'll explain how to install liveries for it. All PMDG 737 liveries on websites like flightsim.to can work with a wingletless 737 you just created. You just need to change a few things in the folder. For this example, I'll be using this American Airlines Chrome livery, which I've already downloaded and installed using the PMDG OC3 manager. After installing your selected livery through the PMDG Operations Manager, navigate to your PMDG 737 liveries folder, which should be in your community folder. Once you've found the folder, you want to go into Sim Objects, Airplanes, PMDG 737-800, Liveries, PMDG, and this is where you'll find any liveries you've installed. The American Airlines livery I've installed is this one at the top, so I'm going to go into it. To get the livery to work with your wingletless 737, simply go into the livery.cfg folder, simply change the BW_L and BW_R to say WT_L and WT_R, then save the .cfg and exit out of it. You should now be able to load into your Microsoft Flight Sim 2024 and select the no winglets variant you just created. After loading into the sim, you should see a Boeing 737 with the new name you set when setting it up. I gave my no winglet 737 the NW prefix, and you can see it right here. You can also see the American Airlines livery I installed from flightsim.to. In the thumbnail it does have winglets, but that's just because it was designed for the blended wingtip 737. When I actually go into configure your aircraft, you'll see that it actually has no wingtips. As you can see here, there's no wingtips on this 737. After actually loading into the simulator, you can now see the wingletless 737 here. You can also see the American Airlines livery I downloaded from flightsim.to. This aircraft looks really good without any winglets, and everything else about it functions the exact same way the PMDG 737 normally would. So you can now fly your PMDG 737 without winglets, and this works for any variant, including the 700, 800 and 900. I hope you found this tutorial helpful. If you have any questions or need any assistance setting the wingletless 737 up, either message me on flightsim.to, I'll leave a link in the description to my account, or leave a comment on this video. I'll try and get back to anyone who needs help, so if you do have any questions, please ask and I'll try and get back to you soon. Anyway, that's it for this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you have a good time flying your wingletless 737. Thanks for watching.